Farm pounds. We shall know about the construction of farm pounds as part of the land development project. After the completion of this module, you will thoroughly understand the following. What is a farm pound? What are the uses of a farm pound to the farmers? Selecting suitable locations for the construction of a farm pound. Tools and implements needed for the construction of a farm pound. Method of marking for the farm pound. Method of construction. Precautionary measures to be taken in the construction of a farm pound. Introduction. Water is very important in our primary activities. This water is used for drinking, agriculture, and many other activities. Many farmers in different areas of our state depend on rainwater for their agriculture. In the absence of rain availability in the barren lands, farmers construct small pits in their fields to store excess runoff rainwater for irrigation. These are called farm pounds. Benefits of constructing farm pounds in the fields to the farmers. Rainwater stored in barren lands can be utilized for their fields or orchards when needed. Fish spawn can be cultivated in farm pounds constructed in fallow lands. Water needed for using pesticides can be obtained from these farm pounds. Excess rainwater from the fields can be stored, which gets absorbed in the land and increases the groundwater table. Water stored in this method can be stored for the prescribed zones for emergency irrigation. Suitable location for the construction of farm pounds. Low-lying areas or the exits for rainwater in the fields are ideal locations for the construction of farm pounds. Tools and implements required for farm pound. We use the following tools for the marking of farm pounds. 15 or 30 meter tape. Carpenter's level. Thread. Wooden sticks and iron rods. Lime powder. We use the following implements for the construction of farm pound. Spades, crowbars, cane baskets. Main parts of a farm pound: silt trap at the inlet to prevent inflow of runoff soil. Water pit to store water. Mud birds around the pound. Revetment for the inlet wall. Pitching near the outlet wall. Rainwater enters the low-lying areas and enters the farm pound during rain. Fast-flowing water takes along with it the fertile alluvial soil from the top layers. In this way, the alluvial soil which comes with the flow of rainwater gets deposited in the silt trap and the water enters the farm pound. In this way, the alluvial soil remains in the silt trap. The alluvial soil in the silt trap has to be regularly removed. If it is not done, then the alluvial soil enters the farm pound and reduces its water storage capacity. The fertile alluvial soil thus removed can be transported to the fields to increase the fertility of the agricultural land. Method of construction of the farm pound.
Let us check the below shown farm pound. Let us know about marking procedure and construction for farm pound.
Initially, the base measurements of the farm pound has to be marked. The prescribed areas to construct a farm pound should be selected and marked as A. Using a tape measure 5 meters from A and mark it as B and insert a wooden pole. Tie both A and B with a thread. From the B wooden pole, take a carpenter's scale and keep at the border of the thread and make a 90 degrees right angle along the second line of the thread. Measure 5 meters and mark it as C and fix the third wooden pole. Keep the carpenter's scale at the third wooden pole and measure 90 degrees right angle and fix a wooden pole at a distance of 5 meters and fix a fourth wooden pole D. Lime powder should be applied along the thread of A, B, C, D to mark the base measurements. See that the distance is 5 meters on all 4 sides, and from one corner to the other, that is, from A to C and B to D, is 7.07 meters. Next, the top measurements of the pound has to be marked. Keep the thread pulled from A to B. At a distance of 2 meters from A1 wooden pole has to be fixed. At a distance of 2 meters from D1 wooden pole has to be fixed. Similarly, thread should be pulled from BC and at a distance of 2 meters from B and 2 meters from C. B1, C1 wooden poles have to be fixed. Bringing together A1, B1 and D1, C1, 2 threads have to be pulled and tied. From the tied threads at the inlet side at a distance of 4 meters from A1 and 4 meters from D1, A2, D2 should be marked and 2 wooden poles have to be fixed. Similarly, at the outlet side, at a distance of 2 meters from B1 and 2 meters from C1, B2, C2 should be marked and 2 wooden poles fixed. Bringing all the marked A2, B2, C2, D2 together, Lime powder should be applied along the thread. A 1-meter berm should be left for the top upper measurement line. Another line around it should be marked and lime powder applied. Marking for the silt trap. At the inlet side of the pit, that is, in the middle of the A2 D2 line, measure 2 meters and mark in the same fashion as the farm pound according to the estimation of silt trap and apply lime powder. The middle line should be equal on both the sides between the silt trap and the farm pound. Method of construction of silt trap. The width of the pound, that is, in the middle A, B, C, D, dig up to a depth of 2 meters. The dug soil should be kept outside A2 B2 marking, leaving a meter berm. 2 meters depth should be dug equally on all 4 sides. Next, the upper width, that is, in the middle of A2, B2, C2, D2 should be dug. A2 D2 line AD, B2 C2 line BC, A2 B2 line AB and D2 C2 line DC should meet, and the wall portion of the pound has to be dug. Using a crowbar, the wall has to be trimmed on all 4 sides. The dug-out soil should be poured in order with same height and width along the sides of the pound, leaving the inlet and the outlet side of the pound. The silt trap also has to be dug out with the prescribed measurements as above mentioned farm pound, and the dugout soil should be poured on both sides. A trench for the toe wall of 1.5 feet into 1.5 feet, that is 0.45 meters into 0.45 meters, has to be dug out at the inlet side at the base of the pound. A toe wall of 0.45 meters into 0.45 meters has to be constructed using raw stones of more than 9 inches thickness. A revetment has to be made at the lower side. This toe wall is used as a foundation for the revetment. A revetment using raw stones has to be made for the inlet wall in the path of silt trap to the pound, that is 2 meters, and at the base of the inlet side of the silt trap and at the side wall of the pound. Some revetment also has to be made at the outlet of the pound. The gaps in the raw stones has to be filled with the small stones and hammered properly. Precautionary measures to be taken while constructing a farm pound. Farm pound should be constructed at the low-lying exit of the field, or else it will be of no use. Farm pound should be constructed where water cannot enter. The pit should not be dug at one place, but rather equally on all the four sides. A 1 meter burn is compulsory, or else the dugout soil falls back into the pit. The dugout soil should be kept equally on the sides, leaving the inlet and outlet sides. Digging the pit in one go makes it difficult for keeping the wall with the prescribed standards and measurements. The borders will be breached and the pound will be stuffed if revetment is not constructed. Hence, a revetment should be constructed. For the revetment to be established properly, the toe wall has to be filled with stones. The stones used for the toe wall of the revetment should be strong and thicker than 9 inches. If silt trap is not made, then the silt along the flow of water enters the pound and fills it. So, to avoid that silt trap is essential. This silt can be regularly removed and applied to the fields to increase the land fertility. Pound should not be dug without a proper side wall. Care should be taken that the water does not flow on other sides instead of the pound. Outlet should be equal or lesser than the inlet. Conclusion. Now you have thoroughly understood the following. What is a farm pound? What are the uses of a farm pound to the farmers? Selecting suitable locations for the construction of a farm pound. Tools and implements needed for the construction of a farm pound. Method of marking for the farm pound. Method of construction. Precautionary measures to be taken in the construction of a farm pound.